We're, we're Sarah and Jess pulling chairs to the table, sharing these stories wild and unstable. Trash talk to tacos, it's how we play. New episodes dropping every Tuesday. We laugh, we cry, we spill what's real.
Hey, before we start, we wanted to do a quick heads up. Today's episode discusses sexual predators, exploitation, suicide, and vigilantism. So we won't be graphic, but these topics can be heavy.
And if at any point this feels like too much, step away, come back when you're ready. We'll also share some resources at the end that can be helpful.
All right, friends, welcome back. And if you're here, congratulations. You either love true crime, questionable television choices, or you enjoy sitting with discomfort while whispering what is wrong with people.
Right? Or you just love us. Nothing says bad decision like showing up to a stranger's house with a Mountain Dew and audacity.
So today we're talking about predators and the show that made catching them feel like a must-see TV sesh.
Because people didn't just watch To Catch a Predator, they loved it. Couldn't get away, look away, loved it.
It's true. So the question is, were we watching justice happen?
Or were we watching consequences as entertainment?
I think more so that.
Maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah. So most people know To Catch a Predator, part of Dateline NBC, hosted by Chris Hansen.
Yeah, we'd watch it as a family back in the day.
Did
I
you?
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we did too.
Yep.
It's so awkward.
Never changed. You had the online chats, then you had your sting house, a decoy posing as a minor. Sometimes I would hope they're not minors, but you don't know. And then that line.
Why don't you have a seat?
And it worked because Chris Henson wasn't law enforcement.
No badge, no Miranda rights, just calm authority.
Yeah, I just never got that. People just automatically felt like they trusted him or something.
And it's something about leaving comments hanging and having that silence that makes people so uncomfortable, they'll just start spewing things.
That is true.
I do it every day.
Silence is strong. So this is one of the biggest questions people still ask. Why do they talk to him? Why do they open up to him?
Because suddenly they weren't predators. They were just misunderstood.
Right?
Yeah.
Psychologists say it's panic, shock, and perceived authority.
Chris didn't yell. He didn't insult. He just let silence do most of the damage.
Yeah, always very calm. And when people think they can explain their way out, they usually dig themselves a little bit deeper instead.
It's true. Every single one of them suddenly became reflective, remorseful, and full of life lessons. Like the moment, yeah, literally the moment he walked out is when they're just like,
And then they're like,
well,
put your hands on the ground.
understand. It's so crazy. Something people don't talk about enough are the decoys.
Some were adults portraying minors, but that still doesn't erase the trauma. I could not imagine being that decoy and being that close to people like this.
The one boy, he said that no matter what amount of money they gave him, he would never do it again.
No, you just have to imagine. I mean, you're around that anyways without knowing, but to have to put yourself in that predicament would definitely do something mentally if you're not
And
really.
he said that you would spend hours talking to these people, like hours and hours to kind of gain their trust, right? Before you invite them over to this decoy house. And he said sometimes he felt really bad, that they felt like decent people that were just maybe awkward or, making a bad choice.
One thing we should look into is if any of those decoys got themselves into bad situations where they enjoyed those. Maybe they went on to do stuff like that in the end. I mean,
some
we
of them
didn't research that, but
the two that were on the documentary, they seemed normal, except the boy was just like, well, I just would never do that again. You could tell he felt really guilty.
Yeah, because that one we'll talk a little more about.
Yeah, so they sit and they read these explicit messages, and they played innocent in the whole game.
Right. And the trauma doesn't care if you were doing the right thing. Like, it doesn't matter.
So we have to ask, were boundaries crossed?
I would have to say at some point or another, yes.
Yeah, there's definitely no guidelines for this.
That's why the show isn't here, probably.
Then came the moment that changed everything.
Yes. A Texas assistant DA, Louis Conrad.
So the show went to his home with cameras because he was invited to the decoy house and he was apprehensive. He wasn't sure he wanted to go. He was kind of backing out. And so the producers were like, let's go to him.
Yeah. bad
What?
decision.
I was like, oh my God. And then they called the police. The police were there. Like everyone's in this district attorney's like front yard. Of course, he's probably like literally pooping himself.
Yeah. And then he literally killed himself. He took his own life while they were out there recording.
Yeah.
And I never even knew that until
No.
I watched this documentary. So,
Yeah. And so that's when everything went quiet.
and the questions got heavier.
Yeah. After that, lawsuits followed and the show stopped.
Of course. Why wouldn't it? I mean, I always thought it was a fine line, anyways.
Mm.
And then also, the other thing is some cases fell apart legally because of how the evidence was gathered.
That brings us back to the uncomfortable truth.
Exposure is not always justice.
It's true. So, why do people still love this kind of content?
They say it's because it taps into fear and protection, especially with kids involved.
So, there's comfort in a clearly labeled villain, which we like. So, we're like, oh, they're sexual predators, they're bad people, so this is okay. But they have feelings too. They are making bad choices.
Yes, and they do say some can be saved. We'll see about that, but certainty can turn into skeptical really fast.
So, now we're seeing people do their own stings.
Yeah, you got these YouTube channels, social media setups, like it's all over on my feed.
And some have good intentions,
Some have dangerous ones.
and people get hurt, and cases sometimes get ruined.
Yeah, and sometimes predators walk away free. So you basically did a disservice trying to be involved. So I would suggest if you don't know what you're doing,
Yeah.
don't do it.
My daughter watches one with this group of men that do it, and they have no training whatsoever. He just found it interesting. He was like, why is no one doing this anymore? So he started doing that, but they don't always get to arrest everyone. I mean, sometimes it's just more about the entertainment factor, I think, for them, not always the justice.
And you have to be sure that you're right. I mean, how do you like be sure you know everything?
Mhm.
Because you could also ruin a life.
Yeah,
Well-
obviously, someone killed themselves over Chris Hansen's. So there are groups focused on prevention, not performance.
Like Bikers Against Predators is a group on my Facebook that I follow. They'll do these live things, but they do also provide education, have a community presence, and they are supporters of people that have been victims of predators.
Yeah, and that distinction does matter. It's not just for, clicks, likes, entertainment. They're actually trying to make it, which makes a difference.
Yes, yes. As far as the documentary we were discussing today, you might want to give that a check out. It's called The Predator, and that's streaming on Hulu, and you will get some crazy things. to
It was
watch.
interesting because you got to see everyone's point of view. And even the person that was recording the documentary, I believe he had said that he was molested.
Yes,
And that was kind of,
he
and
did.
you could tell he wasn't a fan of Chris Henson per se, or maybe like what Chris is doing with his life, like just, throwing people out there like that. I don't really know how he felt about it, but he did leave it very open ended. Did you catch on to that?
Yes, yeah.
That-
I think that whole entire How to Catch a Predator had an impact on anybody involved.
Yeah.
I mean, the camera guys, you can't forget them either. I mean,
Yeah, they're
sometimes
all
they
there.
probably have the hardest part of it. Like they're catching these people, recording them, and in some cases, per contract, they can put whatever they want on the internet, especially some of these shows I watch. So
It's crazy.
same with this.
So it dives into the rise, the fallout, the consequences of To Catch a Predator. And it's not an easy watch, but it's an important one. And I really think To Catch a Predator in general was not easy to watch. I mean, I always felt all the feels of everyone. I felt bad for the predators even sometimes. But,
They even said that the decoy said there was moments where they
Yeah.
wished that person would just run away. Like
Yeah,
they
like,
were a
"Don't
good
come."
person, but
they were just super lonely, making bad choices, but that doesn't make it okay. I mean, it still makes it a really bad choice. I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's any right or wrong answer to this right now. I think we are entertained by it, but we just have to know there's a lot of sides to it.
Yeah. you're going to be pulling these people or doing these things, you really should be trained. There should be rules to that.
Yeah. I mean, you're literally
People's-
watching people's lives disintegrate for the first time right in front of them. It's crazy. So before we end, Sarah had an idea.
Yes, I did. So basically, we all know predators, perverts in general. I think that if there's people out there that have committed some sort of a sexual crime, whether it's against a young kid or an adult, they should be chipped, just like a pet that you can chip and find where they're at when they get away. But this one will cause them to glow up when they go into spaces where they might be susceptible to getting in those situations, like a bar, close to a school. I mean,
I'm not
what do
sure
you
how
think?
they're gonna glow.
Maybe not glow, but like there's
I wanna
got to
see
be
it.
some sort of an alert that you get. Maybe you get an app
Maybe
and
they
they're chipped to
wear
this
shock
app,
collars.
and you can buy the app, and then the app says, "Hey, by the way, 200 feet to your right, there's a pervert. Be careful."
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
I agree.
There
has to be
maybe one day
something.
in the future that will be the
I mean, we did talk about it before how certain states have like areas where they put the predators, and not every state does that.
some castrate you.
Yeah, and I think sometimes that's a must. I mean, I don't think you can if you are I'm attracted to men, which I am. I think if someone gave me a med to make me attracted to women, well, that's probably the only way to make me attracted to women.
Yeah,
I don't
it
know.
ju-
You just have to go hardcore because I
Right?
don't think you can take that away. Counseling. I don't think counseling is going to help a child predator.
No.
I think
If
that's
some of
just-
those guys, you're like, they go in there and they just start taking their clothes off or walk in naked. You're like,
I know.
they really don't care. Now, those are the ones you really
are the
need to
scary
lock up
ones.
for life and throw in.
It's true. They're like, let's just get down and dirty right now. It is so disgusting. What do you got in that bag there? And all of a sudden they have to start naming what's in their bag. It's so embarrassing. And they do it. They
Yeah.
actually say what's in their bags.
Thank goodness I would never get myself in a position to even have to see Chris. So,
That'd be so mortifying. I mean,
yeah, watch out with your porn too, because even clicking one video that you may not know is underage person, you can get yourself in big, big trouble. I heard a story about a college kid that was just innocently watching porn, and he literally got himself in big trouble and had to do jail time for like 5 years because there was a big, huge case with the tape he watched, and he had no clue that it was on the public internet and it was
Oh.
a minor. So be careful
know.
with that stuff, guys.
this sounds a little sneaky. Like maybe he has some other problems, but
No, I
yeah.
heard that through like this attorney. It was like a whole class thing.
Oh, okay.
So it was like
So
a
it was
legit
legit.
situation where they use that to explain to be careful with your porno.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. There's always those one offs that are like so strange that you're like, this would never happen again, but it might.
Yeah.
It's crazy. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Well, I'm glad we.
We're Sarah and Jess pulling chairs to the table, sharing these stories wild and unstable. Trash talk to tacos, it's how we play. New episodes dropping every Tuesday. We laugh, we cry, we spill what's real. Heartfelt, bizarre, the chaos we feel. From late night debates to pondering why. We're your best friends on a podcast. Hi. Casual chatter like friends in a room, bright as the sun and loud as the moon. No subject sacred, no thought too small. We're chewing on life, answering its call. We laugh, we cry, we spill what's real. Heartfelt, bizarre, the chaos we feel. From late night debates to pondering why. We're your best friends on a podcast. Hi. From top shelf wisdom to jokes down below, we've got a rhythm that'll steal the show. Hold your coffee, spill your tea, talking trash as tacos in glee. We laugh,